What's up, guys? So, Andy wants to see more subscriber games and more shorter videos. So, Thin White Duke 85 posted this in the Chess Boot Camp Club on chess.com, which you're welcome to join. And it's good for, supportive group for people who do the Freddy Krueger repertoire and whatever. So, Thin White Duke got his highest ever rapid rating from this game by 1 point. So, let's go through the game. So we've got e4 by white, who's scat bat 23. I'm a scat bat. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and we have the Scotch. Okay, so those of you who follow my channel will know what I play against this. I find the Scotch is just such a venomous opening to face at the beginner and intermediate level. I really don't know why I ever gave it up myself, really. But here we have takes and knight takes, and then this is the Steinitz variation. Now, the Steinitz variation is fine, objectively. There is a kind of a refutation if white knows to bring their knight around and to target c7. However, I find that this still scores well all the way up to 2000. So I'm still playing it. You very often win this pawn. This is the point, right? So what's black threatening? Well, they're threatening the pawn here on e4, which comes with check. Okay, if the knight takes, you just take the pawn with check. Queen blocks, you take the queen, they recapture, you win the knight, you're up a pawn. This is the point. So they've got a few ways to defend. The most common that you'll see is probably knight c3, in which case that's not a problem because you can just pin it with your bishop. There are other moves. They can move their bishop out, right? But let's see what happened in the game. Oh, we have the immediate trade. Okay, so now you just snatch the pawn. Black is already equal here. You snatch the pawn with check, trade. There we go, exactly what we just said. And you will see this a lot if you play the Steinitz. All right, so we're up a pawn. Now it has captured away from the center, and you'll notice that we have two completely open files in the center. All right, we have an extra pawn. Everyone has bishops. Crack on. Okay, so very often what you'll find yourself doing is castling long, mainly to get the rook straight onto the open d file. Okay, bishop comes out here, kind of tying the rook down to there. You do have to be a bit careful with these two bishops. I have had myself in a situation before where, for example, after castling, you tempt white to do this, thinking, oh, I can play b6 and trap the bishop, but then the other bishop comes into a6, and if there's a rook here, that's the end of the game. Okay, but other than that, your king's going to have to move, and you've just lost the pawn back. So you don't want to do that. You need to be careful about that. Okay, Duke plays knight f6. So I will quite often want to bring my knight here as well. Try and trade it off. Maybe repair the pawns. Okay, we have bishop comes out. This is very common as well. We're now preparing to long castle, and we're targeting the c2 pawns. What's he going to do? Okay, well here surely it's very tempting to trade bishops because that will bring this pawn out into the center where it will be isolated because there's no other pawn that can ever defend it. That's what Duke does, jolly good. And now long castles to hit the pawn again? No, pinning the knight. Okay, what was the best move there? Computer's not sure, it says everything's about the same. King d7, knight d5, h5, a king d7. Okay. Bishop b4 is okay. 0.7. Basically, whichever way this goes now, it's so kind of open. We have kicks. What did I play here? I might be tempted to trade off. That would leave an isolated pawn here. Or just maybe bring the bishop back. Okay, Duke trades, thinking I'm a pawn up, and then short castles. Okay, I guess maybe this b file is a bit of a worry. White castles, centralising the knight. This is excellent. The bishop, because it's a fork on the bishop and pawn, the bishop has to come to one of these guys to defend the pawn. He goes back. Now, all you need to be thinking about is getting these rooks onto the open files, surely. Yeah. Okay, so rook fe8. Face off. Okay. And a6 from Dukey. Guess he's just thinking about protecting his pawns. You know, this guy's always going to be a bit of a concern because white has a light squared bishop and can target this, but right now it's defended by the knight. So here it's saying knight e7 even. Very odd move for the computer. But again, they're all the same. It's like there's no real bad move here. c4 from white. Hitting the knight. Now you can just bring the knight back. Knight, yeah, f6 is fine. Now the bishop attacks that and the rook comes across to defend. Okay. Rook comes over. So now what, b6? Because, I mean, another idea is you can just decide to put all your pawns on the dark squares, right? Where the bishop can technically see them and attack them, but at the same time, they're also taking squares away from the bishop as well. And that one. So we have b5. b5 to defend, because if white takes, we just take that, we repair our pawns, we put this, we've got our pawns on light squares, they're ghosted. Bishop attacks knight. What are you going to do, flip it round with a counter-attack? Yeah, knight d7 to flip round. Bishop goes back. White's running out of ideas here. Oh, knight in here, now hitting the pawn. Not the hardest pawn in the world to defend. Yeah, but this doesn't work. Okay, you can see what White's thinking here. White's thinking, if he can't take the bishop because of this, but oh, actually, after takes with check, takes, he still can't take the bishop. So, no, he is right. White can take the pawn. Black takes the pawn with an attack on the rook. The computer here says trade rooks and then take the pawn. So this is just a different way round. And now, again, you see here, white can't take the knight because he's got back rank threat of his own here. These pawns are okay. So that, you know, this is a very, very balanced game still, but the Steinitz is a great opening for if you want to practice eking out and converting a small advantage of one pawn. Takes the pawn and defends the knight. This is interesting now because all of this stuff, he has weakened the pawns there. But I admire the fact that he's solidified his knight in a very aggressive position on the board. You know, maybe threatening this, forcing the rooks off the board. That bishop's never going to do anything about these pawns. And this pawn is just going to run into a wall eventually. So then it's going to be all down to the kings, right? So black's going to bring his king up, try and eliminate this pawn, convert. Let's see how it works. And that just blunders mate. Okay. Well, there we go, short and sweet. But, you know, it happens. It happens. I played a 1650 yesterday who just blundered her queen. Happens, happens, happens. But well done, Thin White Duke 85. Congratulations on your peak rapid rating. Thanks for showing the game. Thank you for watching. See you soon.